The scathing SIU report into the Digital Vibes scandal has implicated 19 individuals in corruption and fraud. It recommends that criminal charges against the former acting National Health Department Director General Dr. Anban Pillay be instituted. According to the SIU, evidence obtained means that Pillay should be criminally prosecuted for financial misconduct. Let's take a look now at some of the findings of the SIU report. It has found that Dr. Zweli Mkhize, who was the minister at the time, at best his conduct was improper and at worst it was unlawful. Mkhize approved a budget of 85.5 million rand for Digital Vibes. It further says that Digital Vibes transferred 300,000 rand via a company belonging to Ms. Martha to Mkhize's son's company. These are just some of the findings that came through from that digital Vibes saga and the SIU report. Let's get some reaction now from the IFP's Deputy President, Inkosi Mzamo Buthelezi. A very good afternoon to you and welcome to the Daytime Update. What then is your reaction to the findings of the SIU? The entire country has been waiting a few months now for the President to release this report, and that has been done. What are your thoughts?
Okay. Thank you very much for having us as the IFP on your program. The IFP welcomes the report, which reveals serious evidence of gross financial misconduct on the part of officials in the department, and also a rampant corruption in the ranks of the ANC, which is the ruling party. What is very important, this report exposes not only the extent of corruption, but also the money laundering that is taking place in our country, and the total disregard of PFMA and other financial legislations, which actually spells out how financial matters should be handled. It is also very important from us as the IFP to know that these revelations are just a tip of an iceberg. Remembering that this is just one department, and every department has its own program in terms of dealing with the issues of COVID-19, meaning that if you can do a full-scale actually investigation in all departments, very much will be actually exposed, more than what we've just seen with the Digital Vibes scandal.
Do you believe that more of the authorities should be held accountable?
Yes, they have to. They have to be held accountable. And we believe that those that are still at the employment department must be suspended without pay, and the immediate prosecution of all those that are implicated should take place. We want to see them behind bars, all these people who are implicated in this report, because we can't afford that at this hour you still have officials, technocrats, who are trusted with such a responsibility, but instead of doing what they have to do, they embezzle the money that belongs to the poor people of our country. That we can't afford to see. Accountability is what the IFP has been calling for from the beginning of times.
Tell us what your views are on how this is going to affect the former Minister of Health, Zweli Mkhize, moving forward. We know that this is not the first time that he's been linked to improper dealings and improper contracts. There was the issue of Itala not too long ago.
Yes.
What does this spell for him as a man who really was respected and looked up to by many in South Africa?
Yes, this is very disappointing because, as you are saying, that during the height of the COVID-19, as the minister, he was doing us very proud as a country. We never thought that he would be implicated in such matters. And every time people will say there are some allegations, something is smelling elsewhere, he would actually deny that and will take his word for that. But I think it's high time now that we do not look at them as ministers, but we look at them as individuals who are not above law. People like himself, because there is now evidence that he benefited from the Digital Vibes, he must also face the music, regardless of the fact that he's a minister. And this proves to say that maybe in the past, where he was implicated, not a proper investigation was done which could actually expose him to be part of everything that he was alleged to have done. So as the leader, he must also cooperate with the law enforcement agencies, and if he's found to be guilty as he has benefited, then that should be the case. Because one thing that is very important, you cannot actually say you didn't know anything and you've got a son who is a direct beneficiary of all these processes, but you don't even, because as a father, for example, said, I think I should know exactly how my son is doing business, how he gets all those businesses. So there is evidence now that he benefited, they renovated his house, and his son actually was collecting money from all those people who are implicated. So as Dr. Mkhize himself, we shouldn't look at him as a minister. He must account. If he's found to be guilty, he must also go to jail like many others. That would be the only thing that will serve a strong message, and that will show that we respect our taxpayers if we deal decisively with whoever is actually implicated in issues of corruption without fear or favor.
Should situations like this signal an end to political careers, do you think? I mean,
Are you still there?
I'm still here. Do you hear me? Inkosi Buthelezi?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, brilliant.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, should situations like this and findings like this signal an end to political careers? Because is that when people in high authority, ministers, etc., are found wanting in one department, they're merely shuffled to another.
That should mean the end of his political career. This issue of reshuffling them, as you say, should be something of the past, not necessarily himself. In fact, if you are a leader of integrity, if your name is tainted, you don't offer yourself any longer. You just withdraw yourself and wait for the process, even if those processes clean you. But if you are a man of integrity, you wouldn't love to lead people who don't even trust you, because that's not only him. Every leader who has been tainted with issues of corruption, that leader on his own must step down and not be a public person or a public leader. That's what the IFP have been saying. Because in the main, that is what is the cause for all this that we're saying, where people whose integrity is under question, they are allowed to hold high offices.
Inkosi Mzamo Buthelezi, the Deputy President of the IFP, thank you very much for your insights and your views regarding the SIU report. It was released a bit earlier on today by the President of the Republic and made public. Let's take a look once again at some of the findings from that SIU report. It further says that Hariram, in her personal capacity, Meta and Mita used digital vibes as a front in order to hide the fact that they were tendering for the contract. It says that Mita and Maitha paid and received gratifications resulting from the fact that the NDOH had irregularly and unlawfully awarded contracts to Digital Vibes.